Welcome to my photography session. This is Understanding the Basics and Its Mechanisms by Susan M. Maithya. In order to control how your final image will be without the manipulation of Photo Editor or Photoshop, you need to understand how to control the illumination of light on your intended image. The different forms of light to be considered are natural light and artificial light. For natural light, these are the steps. First, find the location you want to take the photograph. Second, find the position of the sun. Third, find the time you're taking the photograph. 4. When you have the sun behind the photographer, it illuminates the object. 5. Reflectors are used to make the light flatter and even out the light effect on the subject. 6. The reflectors are normally put in front. For artificial light photography, the first thing is find the location you want to take the photograph. Then find the position of the light source. Third, allocate the proper time you are taking the photograph. The fourth thing is when you have the artificial light behind the photographer, it illuminates the object. Consider the reflectors as they are used to make the light flatter and even out the light effect on the subject. Lastly, reflectors are normally put in front. Autofocus mode versus manual mode. All DSLR cameras allow you to interchange between autofocus mode, known as AF, and manual mode, known as M. It is easier at times to let the camera perform some of the functions in auto mode when you're not sure how to use the manual mode. Which autofocus mode is best? Well, AFS, single servo autofocus, works best for stationary or slow moving objects. Let's say landscapes, flowers, food, and so on. AFC, continuous servo autofocus, works best for moving objects like cars, sports, kids, animals, people, planes, trains, among others. And then we have AFA, auto servo autofocus. The camera has full control and will decide at each shot whether it will be AFS or AFA. What is the metering mode? Metering modes tell your camera how to measure available light. You can choose them through the menu in the camera screen or use the metering mode button to select them. The default metering mode is normally called matrix or evaluative mode. Other modes are weighted mode and spot metering. The matrix or evaluative mode. The camera measures the light across the whole frame. After some complicated calculations, it will try to achieve balanced exposures, useful for uniform sceneries. Weighted mode. The camera measures the light of the center of the frame and its surroundings. It depends on your camera model, but it is usually between 60% and 80% of the frame. Spot metering mode. Your camera will measure the light only for the focus point. This is only 1% to 5% of the scene. Other factors to consider. Meter is at 0 means the camera sensor is getting the right amount of light. When it is minus means photo is underexposed, that means too dark. When it is a plus means photo is overexposed, meaning too bright. Also adjust aperture and shutter speed. Aperture is the depth of the field. It affects the sharpness or blurry background on your photographs. Aperture units are f-stops. Small f values correspond to wide apertures, more light to your camera. Big f values correspond to narrow apertures, less light to your camera. Choose high f-stop should you want your whole picture to be sharp. Using shutter speed priority mode enables you to choose the shutter speed and your camera picks out the aperture for the right exposure. Exposure compensation is useful for making the image darker or brighter. ISOs measure the sensitivity to light. It allows you to take photos in darker situations, such as indoors or outdoors when light is getting weaker. What you need to be watchful is the noise, which is the grainy effect on photographs. I hope you enjoy your photography time.